Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Football Blitz here on a Friday night. George Howanitz, John Mendola within. Coach, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, just wanted to double check there. Maybe I overthought it, thinking about too many buttons. Sometimes that happens.
I figured we were together so long tonight. Maybe you got sick of me already and you wanted to just cut it off.
Yeah, well, those of you who got a chance to see the Wilkes-Barre area and Valley View game tonight, George and I gave you that game. Boy, what a heck of a football game that was tonight.
That was a great football game. I mean, you saw two very different styles of football, but I'm going to say those teams are about as evenly matched as you'll see in a high school game. That game could have gone either way, and Valley View was just able to make a couple big defensive plays, I thought, the last couple drives that Wilkes-Barre had it, and that was really the story of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we'll get down the scores here real quick. And, we know people have tuned in. We appreciate everybody being patient with us tonight. It's just one of those nights where we did a game, it ran late. We're both running home and, trying to get everything going. But Danville beat Montoursville tonight, 44-20. Hazleton beat West Scranton this afternoon, 13-3. Carbondale took care of Holy Redeemer, 45-7. Pittston area smoked Nanticoke 55-0. Crestwood demolished Tunkhannock 55-15. Western Wayne, George had said, watch out for the Wildcats, 34-23 over Wyoming area. Trail took care of Berwick. Holy Cross beat Hanover area. We're going to get Joe Giorgio in here. Good for them. The Crusaders. North Pocono victorious over Valley West. Lake Lehman takes care of Northwest. Abington Heights puts Dallas at 0-3, a win for Joe Repchus. And you'll read about that in the magazine. Walla-Paupack 14-6 over Hoensdale. Central York over Delaware Valley 31-20. Riverside takes care of Lakeland. Dunmore's tomorrow. Mid-Valley beats the Pizza Boys of Old Forge. Canisius Scranton Prep tomorrow. And Valley View 25-20 over Wilkes-Barre area. George, any scores surprise you there out of that list there?
I was surprised about the DV game. I really was. I thought they'd be able to get a win tonight at home against Central York. But Central York's a good team, always in the state playoff mix. So that one maybe not so much. I thought Abington and Dallas would be pretty even. Abington gives them a lot of trouble with being able to throw the ball all over the place. I was a little surprised about Paupack Honesdale, to be honest with you. I thought Honesdale would be able to take care of Paupack. That's probably about it. I think most of the games were kind of I think you kind of knew going in who was going to win. I'm just looking down through some of these, but that's what I would say. Tonight's game I thought would be a close one too, and it really was. It really was a coin flip. So yeah, not too many surprises, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the best football games I've seen in quite some time. For me personally, between Valley View and Wilkes-Barre, how evenly matched it was and some of the things that happened during that game. But just a fantastic game. We got coaches and players lined up. We got it all ready to go because, again, we ran a little bit late tonight. We are going to take a quick break. We'll come right into it. We'll get to Western Wayne and Pittston and Paupack got a win, and we'll get right to it here. We'll be right back here on the Football Blitz on Friday night here with George Howanitz and myself.
The Football Blitz is brought to you by Locals Only Project. Locals Only Project's an apparel company based right here in our backyard. Their mission is to keep Main Street alive and support mom and pop shops across NEPA. They're slinging some great hometown gear like hats, hoodies, and tees. Check them out at localsonlyproject.com. Guys Barbershop. Hey, sports fans, are you ready for game day? Look sharp with the fresh cut from Guys Barbershop. With 2 locations in Scranton and Oliphant, we specialize in styles that score big. Whether you need a classic trim or a modern look, our skilled barbers have you covered. Join the winning team, Guys Barbershop, where every haircut is a touchdown. Visit us today and show your team spirit. Tasty Freeze and Mini Golf, located on the Scranton-Carbondale Highway in Einan. Open 7 days a week, offering a variety of ice cream, including 25 flavors of Manning's Dairy Farm. Make every day an ice cream day. Enjoy family fun at our 18-hole miniature golf course located behind our store, or relax in our spacious dining room. Tasty Freeze is a great location for children's birthday parties. Visit our Facebook page at Tasty Freeze Treats or stop by.
All right, we're back here on the Football Blitz here on a Friday. George Howanitz and John Mendola with you. And Coach, we go back to some of these scores, and how about Lackawanna Trail and Berwick in that fashion of 35-0. I think we thought Trail would be good. We saw they went down to Western Wayne. Maybe we didn't realize how good Western Wayne was. I mean, you kind of were on like, hey, Western Wayne's really tough at home.
Yeah, you go to the Barton Garden with Western Wayne. I mean, it's a tough, it's kind of like a weird environment. It's kind of dark, and the stands are only on one side. So, it's just a weird kind of place to play. The winding roads to get up there and all that stuff. I just think it's a really a true home field advantage for them. But listen, we've said this, Trail does what Trail does. They're going to run that wing tee. If you're not used to seeing it, they're as good at running it as anybody. And if you're not playing certain defenses and not, real physical, they'll hang 35 on you like they did tonight.
We go over to, Mid Valley. What they were able to do to Old Forge, this Mid Valley team is the real deal. 3-0.
Well, Lesher, I just saw ran for 247 again. I mean, he's going to have 1,000 yards by his fourth game this year if he keeps going like this, which is pretty unbelievable. They're not. And listen, in years past, if you said, they were playing like Montrose or teams like that really struggle. But I mean, this is Berwick, this is Old Forge. Like they're playing, some of the heavyweights that we've seen out of district too.
And we look at some of these other scores is going up and down here. Carbondale area, I mean, they dominated. Jeff Arthur should be back next week.
Carbondale, love it, right? We have, our area has some Carbondale guys. Craig Roop lives up the street from me. His son Kyle played. He's a Carbondale guy. Always waiting for the Chargers to get a win. Big win for them tonight. Coach Arthur's a great guy. I've known him a long time. Happy they got a win tonight. And maybe he should take the hint here. He didn't get to coach tonight, and they got a win. So maybe he needs to take a back seat to some of this a little bit. I'll have to tease him later and say, maybe I have to take next week off too, get another win.
All right. Well, we're going to talk Western Wayne football. We're going to take a quick time out again, and we'll get Evan Dean in here. And Coach Grodak's almost home, so we'll get that going here. It is the Friday Night Football Blitz with Coach George Howanitz and myself. Western Wayne Wildcats football coming up next here on the Football Blitz.
The Football Blitz is brought to you by Alberigi Insurance. Alberigi Insurance Agency proudly services all your insurance needs for over 60 years. Located at 301 Church Street in Jessup. Call us today for a no-obligation quote for home, auto, recreational vehicles, boats, and business insurance. The Alberigi Insurance Agency, 570-489-6348. Tim Wagner's Sports Corner, your spot for all your MLB, NFL, and NCAA clothing and accessory needs. Come see what Tim carries for every Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees and Giants, Philadelphia Phillies, Eagles, Notre Dame, and Syracuse fan, to name a few. Tim Wagner's also specializes in all your screen printing and embroidery needs. If you're on Sanderson Street in Scranton, you'll need to stop and shop at Tim Wagner's Sports Corner. Century Dental Associates. Century Dental is a state-of-the-art dental office with multiple locations here in northeastern Pennsylvania. We use the latest approaches that are less invasive than ever before. We bring compassion to each individual to help take care of your dental needs in a way that is the best for you. Please call one of our offices or visit our website at centurydentalsmiles.com.
All right, we're back here on the Friday Night Football Blitz. George Howanitz and myself, we had a game tonight at Wilkes-Barre. It was a heck of a football game as it went Valley View's way 25-20. But now we're talking Western Wayne football. Head coach Shane Grodak joins us again. And one of the guys who had a pretty good game, Evan Dean. Coach, appreciate your time. And talk about the win. You knew Wyoming area is a good football team. You guys got it done.
Yeah, Wyoming area is a really good team, and they took it right to the end, and we did a good job playing defense, and our offensive defensive line really controlled the line of scrimmage tonight.
Helps when you have a guy like Evan Dean on your side. So tell us a little bit about what he brings to this squad.
Evan's he's a difference maker. He's aggressive on defense, and when we absolutely want to run the ball, we line up and go right behind number 74.
Evan Dean, welcome into the show. Coach Howanitz is probably ready to ask you a bunch of questions here. Let me ask you the first question. What did you know on film about Wyoming area? What were you guys able to execute in the game plan?
They were big up front. We just had to stay low and get them moving up front, and we tried to set the tone early on them.
Evan, I'm going to ask you real quick. I was saying before you guys came on to John how I think you guys have one of the better home field advantage places in District 2. I think it's a hard place to play. It's kind of I said you got to get the winding roads to get up to the field. Get to the field. The years I've been there, it's like a little bit dark to me. Like it's not real bright. You got your stands on the one side. It's just kind of an odd kind of deal. But you guys at home, I think, light it up there. So tell everybody a little bit about that home field advantage you have at the Barden Garden.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people come out during our games, especially this year when we're competing teams with like Lackawanna Trail and Wyoming area. And I mean, we just got a new parking lot too, which doesn't make it easier, but
Coach, I got to ask you now, listen, you better start smiling. You got two, in my opinion, these are program wins you got these last 2 weeks, right? There's people that can go, coaches that can go for years and not get these. You got them back to back. Tell everybody what it means to your program to beat two great teams these last 2 weeks.
Well, it's huge for our program, and probably for the first time in our program history, Penn Live put us in the top 10, and I purposely didn't say anything to the kids because I didn't want them to know, but that secret got out of the bag pretty quick. I didn't want to jinx us, and it's big for our school, it's big for our community, and it's puts Western Wayne on the map.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you this because I can say that my last couple of years, I was kind of like you early on. I didn't want to tell my kids, and then listen, you got kids that are good like Evan here. To me, that's a great motivator. You got a chance to be ranked. You used to be now you got the bullseye on your back, which for kids, if you have a lot of good leaders, it's a great way to play for the next 7 weeks, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, instead of being I used to tell my kids there's a hunter and a hunted, but when you're on top, you can be the big game hunter when you're on top. It's one of those things you could do. So I would tell you, enjoy every second of it because you never know when the heck you're going to be back up there again.
Right.
And stay there.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about, some of your playmakers. I don't know if it's true. They said Sean Owens had like a 70-yard punt pinning Wyoming area back. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it might be a little bit longer than 70 yards. It might be more like 75. I got to look at the film, but it flipped the field. We got we got the ball back, and we stalled a little bit. We got in a 3rd and long, and we tried to run a play, and it didn't work. And hey, we're going to play defense, so we punted the ball, and boy, did he boom it! It went.
Evan, let's talk about some of these playmakers on this squad. You have an offensive line that you guys have been together. You guys play hard together, but obviously those guys are going to get some of the headlines. I think you got the game ball tonight, and you're a humble kid. But talk a little bit about being able to do the dirty work for those guys there at Western Wayne.
Yeah, I mean, coming into the game, we had a game plan set. You just gotta, I believe, if you have 5 better linemen against their defensive linemen and offensive line, that's where games are won in the trenches.
Coach, I saw at halftime of the LSU game, John and I, he was giving me the scores, and I just checked real quick. I want to see, and I saw Vinton had 121 at half, and then in the third he was up to 168. I don't know what he ended up with, but I'm assuming you had to be pretty happy tonight with your run game.
Yeah, I mean, the first drive we stalled out. We were trying to get a sense of what they're going to do on defense. And once I recognized that we can get in our 22 personnel, balance them up, and let our offensive line just really force their will upon their defense, we were able to, move the ball and get the chains moving.
You guys are going to get Crestwood next week, and they came up with a huge win against Tunkhannock. Now, quarterback was banged up a little bit last week, didn't play at Valley View, but No breaks. You got Crestwood, you got Old Ford, you got Owensdale. So let's talk about the next focus. And obviously, you're going to soak up as much as you could, but let's talk about the physicality between Lackawanna Trail and Wyoming area. Evan, are you feeling a little sore like a normal football player after 3 weeks and some intensity there?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I went down in the second quarter in the game. I got my knee rolled up and stuff, so I'm definitely feeling it.
Coach, for you, let's talk about, the push and pull of, laying off a little bit and then, gearing it up a little bit to make sure you guys are, healthy.
Yeah, well, before every game, my big thing is I want to be healthy at the end of the game. I don't want to lose players. We don't have a ton of depth, so our players got to play a lot, 3 phases of the game. So, I'm leaning on these older guys to really push through these games, and they gutted it out today. Wyoming area's a physical team. They're a good football team, and, they took it right to the end, and our players, I told them before the game, he who blinks first is going to lose, and we didn't blink.
John, I've been telling you for 2 weeks, Western Wayne is a physical football team, right? I mean, that's the way they play. So you can talk about how they feel. You should be asking the other teams how they feel after playing Western Wayne, because that's the way it is now, right? I mean, I'm telling you, they're gonna fly under the radar, and they're gonna roll through the season and whatever. I don't care what their record is, but someone's gonna roll up to them in the playoffs, and they have no idea what it's like playing a team like that, because they're that physical. And they should be happy and proud of that and hang their hat on that. But they are.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach have played against a lot of teams. They're a physical football team. They've been that way for the last 8 years or 9 years. They come at you.
Well, Evan, we hope you get some rest tonight. We appreciate your time. And Coach Grodak, as always, I know it's a little raspy time, but thanks for joining us tonight after the ride home.
Hey, thank you.
Great job, guys.
Thank you.
Evan, keep flexing, baby.
Well, thank you.
Thanks.
All right. The Western Wayne football team victorious tonight at home against a good Wyoming area team, but the Wildcats are 3-0 and they're rolling. We'll be back here on the Friday Night Football Blitz.
The Football Blitz is brought to you by the Maddock Agency. Since 1972, the Maddock Agency has been serving northeastern Pennsylvania for home, auto, and life. The Maddock Agency prides itself on being an independently owned agency. When you need help, you can talk with the staff member who lives and works right here in Northeast PA. The Maddock Agency has stayed true to its local, loyal roots. That's what our company was founded on more than 50 years ago. Call Dave Maddock and his team today. 570-586-3790. Use Savage Chiropractic. Takes pride in always doing a full evaluation on all patients, including x-rays to evaluate patients to keep them safe and to determine the best care for their specific needs. Then they use modern techniques to get patients better, faster, and keep them feeling great with maintenance care options after they're pain-free. Along with chiropractic care, they are one of the only offices here in Northeast PA that offers both Class 4 cold laser to speed up the healing process and massage therapy and bodywork to aid in muscle repair and rehabilitation. And Northeast Outdoor Services, a locally run and operated company who offers a wide range of services but specializes in all forms of hardscape, concrete work, along with fiberglass pools and spas. Check us out on Facebook or visit our website at northeastoutdoorservices.com. Northeast Outdoor Services. The Football Blitz is brought to you by Battaglia Sporting Goods, your hometown sporting goods store since 1975. Contact us for your team sports needs, including all kinds of sports equipment, as well as screen printing and embroidery. We carry most major brands like Under Armour and Adidas. Moon Rooster, LLC, the leading digital agency in Northeast PA. Moon Rooster builds custom websites and software, runs targeted ad campaigns, and manages social media to drive traffic and boost your revenue. Let them handle the tech so you can focus on what you love. Visit moonrooster.com to get started. Mesco Glass, since the founding of our family business in 1930, Mesco Glass has served Northeast Pennsylvania as the area's leading full-service glass company. In those 94 years, we've expanded to 5 locations. Mesco knows glass, auto, home, and commercial. That's what we've done for 94 years. Call Mesco, 1-800-982-4055. Physical Therapy Associates of Northeastern Pennsylvania, your go-to top-notch care with 3 convenient locations in Old Forge, Hamlin, and Archbald. These pros deliver skilled one-on-one sessions to help you get back in the game faster. Ready to bounce back strong? Give Physical Therapy Associates a call. 570-209-9800. That's Enough Out of You is a weekly podcast hosted by Sean Kane, a Valley View graduate, and Bill Rader, an Abington Heights graduate, whose wife teaches in the Valley View School District. The free podcast explores important historical events and significant figures in history. They're joined by prominent researchers and authors in the areas of JFK's presidency and the assassination, RFK, the war in Vietnam, and many other events of the 20th century. They also talk about sports, pop culture, and occasionally politics. Check out That's Enough Out of You on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts, or go to that'senoughoutofyou.com for more information.
All right, welcome back to the Friday Night Football Blitz. Coach George Howanitz, myself, and waiting on a couple coaches still making that ride home. And, we still got some technology things, a couple coaches are working through trying to get on, and not an easy task. George, what's your thoughts on so East Stroudsburg last night got a win, Bloomsburg got a win, and tomorrow night Wilkes and Kings go at it at 6:00. So, nice to see Bloom get a victory to open up, and East Stroudsburg goes to 2-0 beating Pace. And now Wilkes Kings tomorrow. I know Dave Beaver, now a first-year coach. He's been at Wilkes for a long time as an assistant. He's pretty excited about that possibility tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think it's, anytime any local teams win, I think it's great, especially these PSAC schools where a lot of local kids from the LFC and the Wyoming Valley Conference, they have a lot of showing in a lot of the teams in the PSAC. It's great to have them. Wilkes and Kings, obviously, the same thing. A lot of kids in our area play there. So anytime we see those teams win, I think it's fantastic, especially for the area.
Yeah, awesome to see. And, we'll be interested tomorrow just to kind of see which way that one goes and see if the Colonels could get the victory on the road. That'll be a TV game tomorrow night, 6:00. Of course, all the regular college football is going on. So, much like tonight, you had the NFL, you had a lot of high school football, you had people, kind of all over the place. But, boy, there was some really good high school football here in northeastern Pennsylvania tonight. And, we got to see what we thought was one of the best games around was Valley View and Wilkes-Barre.
It really was. I mean, it was just back and forth. Good defensive play, good offensive play. Good punt, good kickoff return. There was all aspects of that game tonight. I thought were involved in a team winning and a team losing. We saw whether it was down to a coaching point, using the clock or not using the clock, or should you run, should you pass? So there was a lot of true back and forth, that football chess match, which made it, I thought, just a fantastic game and Wilkes-Barre, what a fantastic venue. I mean, that field and their complex there is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, it was an electric type atmosphere, and Valley View was able to get the job done, that's for sure. So, good for them and what they're able to do, that's for sure. We're working on a couple coaches here still. The Shrine Bowl, Matt Naraki ended up getting the win for Wallenpaupack. That was a big victory. So congratulations there. And I think we got Coach Arcangeli here coming in. We're going to welcome him in tonight. Coach Crestwood Comets got the job done against Tunkhannock. On the road, long ride home. You're hanging out in the locker room there. Congratulations on the victory.
I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, we just got back in. So it's a long road from Tunkhannock to Mountaintop for sure.
Well, you got Jaden Shedlock. Good to see him healthy. Played tonight, and, big difference maker there for the Comets.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, buddy. Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you, sir. It's great to be back with these guys. The support from all the coaches and players throughout the week really motivates me to come back even better than ever.
Yeah, it's great to have them. Obviously, we get a little extra oomph, extra pop, and gives the guys confidence, lets the guys play around and be calm. And, certainly having a 3-year starter there helps out. But he'll be the first to tell you it's the guys around him that make him what he is.
100%.
Jaden, good to see you, buddy. I missed you last week. Came to that game to see you, and you're in street clothes. You're killing me.
I know.
We try to keep that hidden as long as we could last weekend.
But listen, it is what it is. you guys will be you'll be in the mix as this thing rolls through and you get him back. Jaden, what was it like for you tonight? Like having to sit out last week, then coming back this week. Dealing with the injury and finally getting back on the field for the game tonight.
Definitely tough watching. The guys did great though, and I was just trying to support them as much as I can. But our trainers did a phenomenal job through the week. I rested properly, and my guys were there to support me throughout the recovery. And I'm happy to be back, and they're happy to have me back too.
Listen, I know your trainer. He's like Mr. Miyagi. I'm sure he did everything he could to get you back out there, right?
He did a phenomenal job, both him and Anthony. Yes.
Okay, talk a little bit about everybody's one play away. Nothing more than you want to do be on the field, but you carry yourself so well in the classroom, in your community, and on the field there at Crestwood. Talk about just that well-roundedness. You're fortunate, but you put in a lot of hard work to be the guy that you are.
I definitely put in the hard work. Yeah, I mean, the guys around me help motivate me. That's like one of my biggest things. Like you get down on yourself a little bit, but they're always there to help bring you back up when you need to. So that's one of the biggest things. And then Coach Arcangeli and all the rest of the coaching staff, they do a phenomenal job too, making sure that everyone's heads are up. They're doing good, on the football field and in the classroom.
Coach, what's it like? I mean, obviously I got to coach my son at quarterback for multiple years, but what's it like? He's going to be a 4-year starter for you. What's it like having that 3, and then next year it'll be a 4-year starter for you, at the helm running your offense?
Yeah, I mean, and obviously very special for you to have your son there and that great run that you guys have, and it's just a different kind of calm when you have that kind of guy. Yeah, I mean, Jade makes good plays. All quarterbacks that are 3-4-year starters are going to make plays for you, but it's the things that people will never see, that maybe coaches may not understand, and it's making sure that everybody's where they're supposed to be, everybody's calm. When the whole crowd gets into it and gets nuts, that you have one of those guys out there that can just settle everybody down, whether it's after a really big run or after a bad loss or a fumble or whatever the case is. I think it's nice to have that calm. So we've been lucky and fortunate to have run the guys in our time here that have been multi-year starters. But having a guy that's 3 years, he's obviously been in the mix in some really big games, whether it be in the snow, coach, a couple of years ago, or in some really hostile spots. So to be able to have a guy that you can lean on, that counts on his teammates and looks them in the eye and keeps them calm is a big deal. So I'm happy to have him. I'm not trading our guy or the guys around him for sure.
As much as you get the win this week, Coach, you got to go to Western Wayne, who took care of Wyoming area, and Coach Howanitz has been on Western Wayne. Like, this is a tough football game. I'm like, listen, Wyoming area is good. So now we know Western Wayne is a notch above that. So, you'll take in what you got tonight, tomorrow morning, and then it'll be prepared for Western Wayne.
100%. I mean, we, obviously we had a good win tonight, which is awesome. We'll celebrate the heck out of it, for this evening and, through this call. But then once we lay our head on the pillow and wake up tomorrow, we got to flip the page. I mean, Western Wayne is a very good team. I think they got a team this week that went through the grinder for 2 weeks, and had to get up for another one and go to Western Wayne to do that. But we have Western Wayne at home. So, being back home on the turf here, it's nice to finally get back here after 2 long weeks. But really good football team. They always are. I don't know what they have in the water up there. And really I don't know what county that is, but anything outside Luzerne County north of us, guys, we have very different water here on Mountaintop. 315-pound linemen just live everywhere else other than Mountaintop. So they're going to be a challenge for sure in the trenches. They have a really good tailback, and we'll have to be ready to play. But Wyoming gave them the game from what I've heard, but they kind of just ran out a little bit of gas at the end. So we'll get on the film. We'll try to put a great plan together. Our assistant coaches and all of our coaches do a fantastic job of doing that, and hopefully get our kids to buy in one more week.
Tighten up those chin straps, buckle them up a little extra this week, because that's what you're going to get. They're going to come right at you.
First tackle will be a wuss. I mean, so definitely a buckle it up, and but anytime you play a team really out of the Lackawanna Conference, and coach, obviously you coach through it, that's how it's going to be. I mean, that's how it's going to be. So our first 3 games here, again, the nice road game tonight, road win, makes us feel good. But our first 2 games tell us right where we are. and they were bangers. You know what I mean? So we've been there, kind of know what that's like, but we're going to need 4 quarters of really good football, clean football, to be able to beat Western Wayne. Does a really nice job there. So anxious to get them on film, get on the tape. I'll start that tomorrow, and away we'll go.
I want to say one thing about Jaden, and I want everybody, whoever watches, listen to this. I've had a lot of run-ins with him. He is a class act kid, right? And I know Coach knows that, but coaching track, I see him at all the track meets or anywhere I've ever been. He's the first one to come up to me, say hello. So one of the reasons why he's a difference maker is just because of the great parenting he's gotten, coaching he's gotten, and what a great young man he is. But he really is a poster child for high school sports if you've ever been around him. And I'm sure Coach could say the same thing.
That means a lot, Mr. Howanitz. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's the first thing we say. You got to talk to this guy off the field. He's very special with his legs on the field and his arm and his leadership ability. But you're talking about a guy that's awesome in the classroom. He's the first guy to ask when we're going over to mini football practice on Thursdays. We hold the chains on Sundays for home games for mini football, and sometimes he's there 2 or 3 times, making sure everybody does that. But he's got, again, good character guys around him too. You know what I mean? He'll be the first to tell you. But special parents, special grandparents, make this guy a real joy to coach, guys. It's you hold on to good ones, and I've got 38 other ones that we're going to hold on to as long as we can for the next 7 weeks.
Jaden needs a hot shower and a good meal, Coach. I know you need the same. We appreciate you guys sticking around the locker room a little bit extra after a long trip from Tunkhannock. Jaden, all the best, and keep going with those recruiting visits, okay?
You guys so much. It really means a lot. Thank you for having us.
Good luck, guys.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Take care.
All right, we're going to talk Wallenpaupack football in a minute 11. We'll be right back here on the Football Blitz.
The Football Blitz is brought to you by Locals Only Project. Locals Only Project's an apparel company based right here in our backyard. Their mission is to keep Main Street alive and support mom and pop shops across NEPA. They're slinging some great hometown gear like hats, hoodies, and tees. Check them out at localsonlyproject.com. Guys Barbershop. Hey, sports fans, are you ready for game day? Look sharp with the fresh cut from Guys Barbershop. With 2 locations in Scranton and Oliphant, we specialize in styles that score big. Whether you need a classic trim or a modern look, our skilled barbers have you covered. Join the winning team, Guys Barbershop, where every haircut is a touchdown. Visit us today and show your team spirit. Tasty Freeze and Mini Golf, located on the Scranton-Carbondale Highway in Einan. Open 7 days a week, offering a variety of ice cream, including 25 flavors of Manning's Dairy Farm. Make every day an ice cream day. Enjoy family fun at our 18-hole miniature golf course located behind our store, or relax in our spacious dining room. Tasty Freeze is a great location for children's birthday parties. Visit our Facebook page at Tasty Freeze Treats or stop by.
Okay, we are back here on the Football Blitz, and we are going to get to Matt Naraki, the head football coach at Wallenpaupack. Matt, congratulations, a big win.
Yeah, thanks. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound great. A little tiley there with the signal up there, Wallenpaupack, but we get the shadow of you. Now you're coming in a little clearer. Congratulations on the victory.
Yeah, thank you. It was great. It was a great night for Wallenpaupack. It was a great football game overall. That was a hard-fought football game, 0-0 at half. Honesdale scored to open up the third quarter, and then we responded, and our guys responded. And, it was awesome to see.
That Shrine game, pretty big deal up there between Honesdale and Wallenpaupack. Talk a little bit about all the festivities there.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying I want this Shrine game. I wish we played Western Wayne every year and we got to do a Shrine Cup, kind of like a Commander Cup between Army, Air Force, and Navy. We got to get that going because there's good football out here in Wayne and Pike County. But it's such a cool atmosphere. So many good people in our communities out here in Wayne and Pike counties. So getting everybody there. I mean, this is the one everybody's got circled out here. So it's a big game. George, I know you coach for Wallenpaupack, so you know what this game means to the community. And to beat a 2-0 Honesdale team that I think is a pretty good football team, pretty physical, was incredible tonight. It was really cool.
Coach, first year coaching there at Wallenpaupack. You've been there for a while as an assistant, but just tell everybody kind of what's been like, maybe something that's a little more difficult than you thought it was going to be in your first year, or maybe something even you think is easier than what you thought it would be your first year.
I mean, we got a good group of kids. Like I've been very lucky the first year that I got kids, the kids I have. You look at what, situations some coaches take over. I have great guys. I mean, these kids are with me at 6 a.m. in the morning lifting, bench and back squat and power cleaning, also multiple sport athletes. They're wrestlers. They're track guys. I'm big on track. I listen to your guys' show all the time. I hear you talking about that. I think it's crazy that these kids are not playing 3 sports. They need to be playing 3 sports, especially track and field and wrestling if they want to be good football players. And that's kind of the message we've been sending. And the kids have bought in. But we've had a group this senior group has really bought in. And so that transition has definitely been easier than I anticipated, getting the kids to buy into what you're selling, because this is just a great group of kids. The stuff that's tough is, and this as a head coach, it's one thing to be an assistant and you're doing your work and you're getting that done. But there's a lot of things around the facility and with the team that get done that you're not sure how it gets done, but the head coach does all of that. I know when you were a head coach, the questions that come across your desk, you maybe didn't think you'd have to answer. You thought you'd be talking about power or blitzes or, how do we game plan this? But now all of a sudden it's what flavor ice cream you want to have. So those stuff, I didn't expect all that. So, I would say that's the biggest change, but I got a great coaching staff. So those guys pick up, everybody gets their work done. Everybody does their duty, their job, and great group of guys to work with.
Matt Watson, a character guy out there, Walla Pack forever. What were things you took from him here, and you kind of soaked up, some of the stuff from him, and now you're the head guy? What were some things that, obviously you have your own little twist at what you want to do, as a head football coach, but there's plenty there that you could take from Coach Watson.
Yeah, I mean, it starts and ends in the weight room. I think everybody knows that, and that was what Doc really preached out here, and it's true. I mean, tonight we won in the weight room. I mean, we got into the mid third quarter, and our guys are waiting for the next play, and we felt that we were wearing them down, and it's those power cleans, back squat, bench presses that did it, and our guys are committed to that, and that was a foundation that Coach Watson really laid down here for the time that he spent 18 years here. So those kids have been bought into that. And, when you can have that buy-in, you have a chance, I think.
How about, I know you have a multi-starter at quarterback, which obviously makes your life a heck of a lot easier than having somebody come in that maybe hasn't even been in the system. So talk about Kiesendahl a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I would say this is the first time I got to experience having a 3-year starter at quarterback. I haven't been coaching that long, so to finally get to have that come around, and you go through those growing pains as a sophomore and even as a junior, you really see why when he's a senior, and he makes you look good when you make some bad calls, and he just does some things that you don't have to coach. We got late in the game. I think we got the ball back with about 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And we put it away. We didn't give the ball back to Honesdale. Just didn't even have to tell him. He's looking up at the play clock and winding it down. And it's those little things that just add up that it's like, okay, you got that senior guy, and, he really can help you.
Matt, let's talk about, putting together a couple wins in a row now, and you got to get to head into week 4. And, the mindset of these guys had to be a nice bus ride.
Oh, yeah. I mean, first off, whenever you beat Honesdale, it's a great bus ride. Secondly, I mean, these kids have put in so much hard work. I mean, it's been since the winter. We were out on the field in March, and these kids want it. It's a player-led team. So I'm just so happy that they're starting to see their labor come to fruition. But, we got a 3-0 North Pocono team coming in, and now we're going to start the grind of the LFC Division I, which we love. But now it's and I think tonight was a buckle the chin straps game, throwback game. But man, you got North Pocono DV Prep, 3 hitters in a row, and it doesn't get easier after that. So we're back to the grind here pretty quick. But yeah, that was a fun night over there.
Well, Matt, we appreciate your time tonight. Congratulations on the big win, and young coach, all the best your way. You keep working hard in that weight room with those guys, and more success on the field.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I listen to your show every week. I think it's great. I love, George, hearing your 2 cents on things, and I love what you guys do for local high school sports. It's awesome.
Thanks. Great job.
All right, Coach, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, have a good night, guys.
Good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you.
Matt Rocky, the head coach there at Wallow.
The Football Blitz is brought to you by Alberigi Insurance. Alberigi Insurance Agency proudly services all your insurance needs for over 60 years. Located at 301 Church Street in Jessup. Call us today for a no-obligation quote for home, auto, recreational vehicles, boats, and business insurance. The Alberigi Insurance Agency, 570-489-6348. Tim Wagner's Sports Corner, your spot for all your MLB, NFL, and NCAA clothing and accessory needs. Come see what Tim carries for every Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees and Giants, Philadelphia Phillies, Eagles, Notre Dame, and Syracuse fan, to name a few. Tim Wagner's also specializes in all your screen printing and embroidery needs. If you're on Sanderson Street in Scranton, you'll need to stop and shop at Tim Wagner's Sports Corner. Century Dental Associates. Century Dental is a state-of-the-art dental office with multiple locations here in northeastern Pennsylvania. We use the latest approaches that are less invasive than ever before. We bring compassion to each individual to help take care of your dental needs in a way that is the best for you. Please call one of our offices or visit our website at centurydentalsmiles.com.
Back here in the Friday Night Football Blitz, George Howanitz, John Mendola, and there's a winning football coach, Joe Giorgio from Holy Cross. Congratulations on the Crusaders win tonight on the road, Coach.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We'll talk about the win against Hanover area, and you got some tough kids, and you guys found a way to get it done.
Yeah, coming up off the loss last week to Lakeland, kids were down a little bit. We started off a little slow, but, once we got into the flow of the game, we started, playing a lot better.
Coach, how many kids do you have on your roster this year?
Right now I have 29.
All right. So I just want my question is obviously, like, we just did the Valley View game tonight. They're in the 60s.
Yeah.
You're at a program with 29. Just tell everybody what it's like on a daily basis, because it's not easy. I mean, I've coached a long time. 29 is not, you got to have 11 on 11. That's 22. So you don't have a whole lot of wiggle room there. So tell everybody what it's like on a daily or weekly basis when you have numbers like 29.
Yeah, it's tough. You gotta hope and pray that your starters stay healthy throughout the season. Plus of those 29 kids, 7 of them are freshmen. So you're dealing with kids that have no varsity experience whatsoever, and we're playing them on the varsity level, and it's tough. It's tough just being able to practice week in and week out.
Joe, the biggest thing, I'm sorry, George, at Holy Cross, you have that administrative support. Your principal's all about it, was the head football coach. That always helps. And, listen, I got the support. We're going to try to get as many kids interested in this program. And, it's not going away. We're going to keep playing football here at Holy Cross.
Yeah, absolutely. Every spring I usually, go out to all the feeder schools, try and gather interest in the program. And, the kids that buy in are kids that want to play football. I've been very fortunate with the administrative part of it, because they've been very supportive. And whatever we ask for, they provide.
This is probably a big win for you. How do you feel like you'll be able to build off this going into your game next week?
Anytime we can win a football game is big for us. Hopefully we can carry this over into next week against Carpendale. Winning the first week against Montrose was big, and I think it showed in the way we played Lakeland last week. We played them really tough. It was a tough game, and normally the mentality of the kids this year is a lot different than it has been in the past. And I think it's because last year I only graduated one senior, and the kids gained a lot of valuable experience, and that's something you really can't teach. So they've been working their tails off, and they're excited. And like I said, anytime we can win a game, it's big for us.
Joe, you get to get Carbondale, Columbia, Montour, Votech, Holy Redeemer. Those should be 3 very competitive games where you guys should put yourselves into good position. Talk about trying to build that momentum. It starts with Carbondale, and you guys are going to have to physically be ready. As you said, that roster of 29, you guys got a kind of a physical game against Hanover, I'm sure, and you'll have to be ready to go for the Chargers.
Yeah. It's tough. Like you said, 29 kids in that. We got a little banged up tonight, but hopefully we've gotten the kids ready enough where we can, if we need to, replace some of them people that we may lose. But we've been telling the kids all year, it's just take one game at a time. Let's get better each week, and who's ever on our schedule, that's who we play, and let's go out and give it our best.
We appreciate that hard work you're putting in, and I always, I tell John sometimes I'm just happy. There was years when Holy Cross didn't even have enough guys to play games. I'm just happy you have the 29, and you're able to go out there each week and let these kids know what it's like to be a high school football player.
Yeah, absolutely. The tough part about all this is that a lot of the kids that we get, have never played football before. They're putting on pads for the first time. We have no feeder program like the junior programs where we can get kids from. So the kids that are willing to play and willing to put in the time in that are kids that are hungry and they want to play. And like I always tell people, it's easy to coach teams, that are loaded and have good teams. That's easy. I said, dealing with like last year we played the last game of the year, and I dressed 17 kids. I said that's the tough part. That's what really, it's just tough all around. But the kids suit up and we go out there and play.
Joe, how about your resiliency? Talk about like your part of it, because as the head coach, you have to say, listen, I have a vision here. We're going to keep this going. We're going to get better. We're going to keep putting the time in. You said going to these schools. Some of it has to come from the head, the leadership of you. Talk about, that inner resolve that you have to kind of help lead this squad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's face it. None of us do it for the money. We're out there because we love the game and we want to be a part of it. And, that's what drives me. That's what drives, my assistant coaches and everything. We love the game. And we want to succeed. And we want to build these kids up and get the program on the right track. 4 years ago, I think we won 4 games, got to play in the Eastern Conference Championship. And, so we got the program at least headed in the right direction. So we thought. And then, 2 years ago, we didn't win a game. So it's tough, but, we're at practice every day. We're in the weight room in the off season every day. And, I think if you show that type of leadership and show that type of will and desire to put the time in, hopefully it rubs off on the kids.
I want to give you a shout out. Like I send out that magazine info every summer. You're like the first to respond in the first couple of hours. I wait 6 weeks sometimes. So I appreciate your efforts, you and your wife, and getting that information over to me, Joe, and all the best there for the Crusaders.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Congratulations, Coach.
Congratulations. Thanks. All right, have a good night. Joe Giorgio here on the Football Blitz.
Football Blitz is brought to you by Battaglia Sporting Goods, your hometown sporting goods store since 1975. Contact us for your team sports needs, including all kinds of sports equipment, as well as screen printing and embroidery. We carry most major brands like Under Armour and Adidas. Moon Rooster LLC, the leading digital agency in Northeast PA. Moon Rooster builds custom websites and software, runs targeted ad campaigns, and manages social media to drive traffic and boost your revenue. Let them handle the tech so you can focus on what you love. Visit moonrooster.com to get started. Mesco Glass, since the founding of our family business in 1930, Mesco Glass has served Northeast Pennsylvania as the area's leading full-service glass company. In those 94 years, we've expanded to 5 locations. Mesco knows glass, auto, home, and commercial. That's what we've done for 94 years. Call Mesco, 1-800-982-4055. Physical Therapy Associates of Northeastern Pennsylvania, your go-to top-notch care with 3 convenient locations in Old Forge, Hamlin, and Archbald. These pros deliver skilled one-on-one sessions to help you get back in the game faster. Ready to bounce back strong? Give Physical Therapy Associates a call. 570-209-9800. That's Enough Out of You is a weekly podcast hosted by Sean Kane. a Valley View graduate, and Bill Rader, an Abington Heights graduate, whose wife teaches in the Valley View School District. The free podcast explores important historical events and significant figures in history. They're joined by prominent researchers and authors in the areas of JFK's presidency and the assassination, RFK, the war in Vietnam, and many other events of the 20th century. They also talk about sports, pop culture, and occasionally politics. Check out That's Enough Out of You on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts, or go to that'senoughoutofyou.com for more information.
We are back here on the Friday Night Football Blitz. George Howanitz, myself, and now we're going to welcome in Brady Skeen, football player there at Valley View. And what an exciting game it was tonight. Man, it was a play here or there, and it went the Cougars' way. And Brady, you got the job done there for the Cougars. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Attaboy, Skeen.
Talk about making one more play, than the Wolfpack today.
Yeah, they had the lead going late into the game, and we had a couple of big plays. My interception, Beyond McLean had a really nice touchdown, and Gianni sealed the game with a pick. So we got it done. We rallied together and finished it off.
Brady, John and I were talking during the game about how Valley View's players mainly go one way, and then most of the Wilkes-Barre guys were going two ways. Just what'd you think at the end, towards the end of the game today? Do you think that was one of the reasons why you were able to pull it out in the end, or do you not think it really made that much difference tonight as that game went along?
Yeah, a couple of their players on defense were getting hurt, so they were getting banged up just playing both ways. So, I mean, us going one way really saves us injuries and, energy.
Brady, you had 5 or 6 guys, 6'3", 210 pounds. You got some bruisers there. Talk about pounding the rock and just being like, okay, this guy's next. I mean, so Swalinski got hurt, but then he came back. He's a tough kid, and you got Reed and just guy after guy made plays for you.
Yeah, we have a couple big guys on the line. We knew coming into the game we were going to have to pound the ball, and that's how we we're going to win. We were going to have to pound the ball and keep pounding it. So we got the job done. We were getting a lot of yards off almost every carry, so it ended up working for us.
You guys had 3 bombs that were inches away from being touchdowns. And then on that last one, that worked out for you. And then, you guys just able to finish off the Wolfpack. Talk about, guys stepping up when they needed to tonight and making just the extra play to get the job done. It got scary. It's 25-20. You're thinking Wolfpack could go down, and their quarterback, he's a heck of a kid. But, you guys came up with that second interception there.
Yep. We knew going into it, it's going to be a good game. So we had to keep our energy. We had to keep drinking water and play good defense. It came down, they were getting a lot of yards on each play. So we came out with a pick, which was really important. Gianni clutched up for us.
I talked to Coach Wasilchuk after the game. I gave him a call, and I said to him, I thought your team played very patient tonight. And we said it even tonight. We did the game there was no panic. And did you sense that on the sidelines? Nobody was really in, even when he went down a touchdown or, they had some good drives. It didn't seem like you just got right back to business, what you had to do, and right back to it on the field.
Yeah, we were down a little bit. I think it was 7.5, and then we got the ball at half. And we had a really big drive, but we had a flag, unfortunately. So that we kept pounding the ball every drive over and over again. And Preston Reed, Nicky, Karski, they were all running goods. Zach Swalinski showed a lot of effort, and effort is what came out on top. Just our effort. We had more effort.
Brady, let's talk about the hype. Beginning of the season, Prep Valley View, hey, you got to wait for this game. Things don't go your way. You got to lick your wounds and find a way to get back. Now you win a couple in a row, but you can't get too comfortable. Abington Heights next week. It's going to be a test.
Yeah, this is our biggest test yet from Prep. Prep is looking like a really good football team right now, but we had a big 6A game. They're a big points 6A opponent, and we needed this win to keep rallying. I
think the nice thing next week is it's Abington Heights at Valley View, which will
Yeah.
definitely help you guys out being home. And, you're going to see a very similar kind of offense that you saw tonight. So during the week, we're excited because you're finally getting a team that likes to throw the ball a little more and, a little bit better quarterbacks and better receivers rather than these teams that just want to run the ball so many times a game.
Yeah. We knew they were going to be a challenge. They're fast. Their quarterback, he throws really good balls. And at the end, sorry.
Well, how about for you? For you, I'm saying, like, you got to cover a little more tonight. You're not stuck in that box. Just kind of.
Yeah.
So, did you feel like for you it was a little more of a, much different week than it had been the past weeks?
Yeah, because past weeks we've been just focused on running the ball. So I knew this week was a big test. They're going to have good receivers, fast receivers, good quarterback. We're going to need to make some plays. And at the end, we did make some plays.
Well, Brady, congratulations. That was a monster win. It was a heck of a football game. Somebody had to lose, and you guys took it to the Wolfpack 5 points better. And savor it. And then good luck next week against the Comets.
Thank you.
Good job,
Brady. Have a good night.
You too.
Brady Skeen here, Coach. Valley View got the job done tonight. Congratulations to them. And, man, they got some nice players there and just so physical. They beat a 6A football team in the Wilkes-Barre Wolfpack, and Jake Howe, heck of an effort from him tonight. I mean, he tried to will his team to a victory, and just Valley View was able to make one more play.
Yeah, I mean, that was just, like I said, that was just a great football game tonight. I'm going to say if they played each other 100 times, it might be 50-50 with the way it ends up, just the way, some turnovers went tonight, some bad plays, some flags here and there, some, just a kind of a little mishmash of some different things that went wrong for each team at certain times. But, well coached, both teams. Both teams, I think, will beat a lot of teams just because they're built to beat a lot of teams. And I think you'll keep hearing about these two teams as the season goes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Next week there's a lot of good football games out there.
Well, I'm looking at the schedule for next week. Next week's your Abington at Valley View, North Pocono, Pawpack, Mid Valley, Homesdale. The Battle of the Bell, Scranton is at West. Scranton and West are playing. Western Wayne, Crestwood, Lakeland, Wyoming area, Hanover, Old Forge, Lake Lehman, Riverside, Trail, Dunmore, Susquehanna, Holy Redeemer. So you got a lot of high quality games on that schedule.
You got the Bell game next week too, West Scranton and Scranton, and West Scranton came up short against Hazleton area. Scranton's rolling right now, but throw out the records with that particular contest. I'm interested to see if Holy Cross can maybe put one together against Carbondale. I think Jeff Arthur's back next week, the head football coach for the Chargers. They're playing pretty well, but Arthur's back, and that'll be interesting to see how that goes. And that Dallas-Wilkes-Barre matchup next week, 0-3 versus 1-2. I don't know. I think it's going to be a heck of a football game between those two as well.
Well, one of the things that you have to, I'm going to say you have to get a little nervous about, we talked about a little bit tonight, is like in 4A, only 4 teams are getting in. So you really can't afford to have any more hiccups if you started 0-3, because you can have somebody outpoint, you're going to have somebody outpoint you if they win a lot of games. So that's what we were talking about a little in the booth. Like Dallas can't afford to lose another game and end up at best 6-4, and kind of clasping their hands, hoping that some other teams lose and they can get in. So, some of these teams, there has to be a little bit of panic that's set in. Even Valley View coming into this, they easily could have been 0-3 to start this year, and instead they're 2-1. So they should be doing backflips, and they're really in the driver's seat, I think, with the 4A division right now.
How about Delaware Valley, though? I mean, physically and mentally, they're 0-3. They got prep next week. Physically, they played 3 tough teams. Mentally, you're 0-3, knowing you have a tough schedule, and now you got to take on Scranton Prep to start the year, facing 0-4 in the face.
Yeah, and I mean, I think this is as good a prep team that they've probably seen in probably the last 10 years. Because I'm assuming, if you look at records, they've probably beaten prep like 8 out of the last 10 years. But this prep team is built to be able to beat teams like DV. They have good speed. They're 4-year starter at quarterback and all their skill guys and big linemen. So same thing with DV. They're sitting the same way. You can be a little panicked because doesn't get any easier after your 0-3 start.
And Dunmore will take on Susquehanna tomorrow, but then they'll prepare for Lackawanna Trail next week. And, you know, Dunmore's not a bad football team, a little bit young, but, you know, it's Trail again.
Yeah, this is always, like, to me, this is always what you're worried about if you're like a AA, single A. Like, yeah, it's hard to play these teams over and over again because you just get, one, you're getting banged up each week. Usually you're not super deep with players. So if you start losing some guys, games can really shift because of that. I mean, you saw it with Crestwood. Lose your quarterback, you're not beating any of the good teams without Shedlock as your quarterback. So, you know, you start losing some of your better players. They get beat up. Even teams like Western Wayne, like Coach was saying, man, that gauntlet that they play, if they could just kind of survive and, you know, even if they do have one hiccup and lose one game, keep everybody healthy, these teams could do a lot of damage when the playoffs roll around.
Well, I mentioned that Danville, you know, I don't want to say it's, you know, they're a team that's, you know, they're a heck of a football team. They're 3A. So if you want to look down the road, you know, Scranton Prep, possibly, you know, they beat Montoursville. They're 3-0. They got Central Columbia next week, and in a couple of weeks they'll have Southern Columbia. But Carl Major's already asking, hey, who are the teams up there in District 2 that are a pretty good football team? But he feels very confident about his squad there at Danville.
Well, you can do that. I just think, you know, even Prep last year, I thought was a really good team. They rolled into the state part of the playoffs and lost the first week. I mean, you just don't know, you know, what you're going to run into when you leave our area, the way these brackets are set up. And, you know, you run into some of these teams, they end up with like a Division I quarterback and your season's over quick. You know, when you think you're going to make a run. And, you know, I remember when we had Naeem Wortman and all those guys in 2011 or whatever it was, and we roll into, you know, we thought we were pretty good. We go into Allentown Central Catholic and their quarterback's going to South Carolina, and they have 3 stud receivers that could have gone probably anywhere. I think 2 of them played in the Big 33 with them. So, you know, your season can end quick when you play some of these teams with some of these stud athletes. Like even you saw tonight, Wilkes-Barre's quarterback can play pretty much anywhere and help teams win. So I hate looking forward like that and, you know, putting the cart before the horse.
Southern Columbia, Mount Carmel next week. That'll be a classic matchup. Southern rolled again tonight. They're putting things together here after a week 1 loss to Wyomissing. So, again, it's nice to look at some of these District 4, District 11 scores because, you know, down the road, those are things we may see.
Yeah, I mean, they're, you know, you know, in certain brackets, you know, you're going to run into Southern at some point, you know, barring any unforeseen circumstances. And, you know, teams like Wyomissing and some of these other teams are always in the mix. They're always kind of lurking there. So they might lose a game or two, but like Southern was like that last year, I think. Didn't they lose to they lost to somebody early and then they beat them by 50 when the playoffs rolled around. So
exactly.
That's kind of what you have to deal with and what you have to be ready to deal with as you move through. And that's what I'm talking about. You better be healthy, because if you're not healthy going into those games, they're going to put a shellacking on you and you're going to be going home early in the playoffs.
Here's one you got to look at if you're District 11, the big school 6A. Freedom, they took care of Allentown Central Catholic. Now it's Freedom and Nazareth. They're both 3-0 ready for week 4. That'd be one of the biggest games of the year. Freedom, you know, took down Parkland. So now it's Nazareth Freedom in District 11, 6A next week.
That'll be like air raid central. The balls will be flying through the air. You know, every drive will be 2 minutes, and you know, every pass will be thrown, you know, from sideline to sideline and up and down and everywhere you could see. So it'll be an interesting game to watch, I think, if you're in that area next week.
Supposed to get some rain tomorrow. And isn't that good luck for a wedding?
I don't know. I was telling you, Northeast Outdoor Services, Corey Mitchko's getting married to his fiancee Liz tomorrow, and it's outside Malatessi's. So I hope the rain holds off, but we wish them the best of luck. They're one of our sponsors, and I know they've had this plan for a while, and both of them are super happy to get this thing going. And they say it's good luck though, right? For rain, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
So hopefully it'll be good luck.
Yeah, forecast tweaked a little bit, might end by 3-4, so maybe that'll help a little bit.
I think their wedding's outside too, so they might have to get a lot of umbrellas, but they'll make it work. 2 great people get married, so I'm happy for them.
That's awesome. Well, George, it's been a fun night. Spend the whole night with you. We'll depart ways, and we'll take a little time off, you and I, over the weekend. But great to get Western Wayne in here and Evan Dean. He doesn't say a whole lot, but you can tell he's a hard-nosed Western Wayne Wildcat. Jaden Shedlock, just a well-rounded young man. The skiing kid out of Valley View. He'll fly under the radar a lot of the year, but he'll make plays for that squad.
It's great just to see these kids that play. Usually you see them with a helmet on. You don't even know what they look like or what they sound like or anything like that. And, even the coaches, you see them walking on the sideline, but you really don't get to truly see them as a coach. And I think this show allows that to happen. And you're seeing what great people and young student athletes we have in Northeastern Pennsylvania, which is fantastic.
Well, we appreciate everybody joining us tonight. It was a late show. We're going to run into this. Hey, we're saying it's 10 o'clock, but George drove back from Wilkes-Barre. It was a long game. I was trying to get organized here as well. So, hey, be 10 o'clock, could be 10:15, 10:18, 10:33, but we'll get you, somewhere around an hour, give you a little over an hour tonight. George, appreciate your time. Get a good night's rest and, enjoy the weekend with the wedding.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a good night, everybody. The Friday Night Football Blitz here with Coach George Howanitz and myself. Thank you so much for joining us.